Nonetheless, the household budget, we're going to go ahead, taking a look at this picture. Um, what you want to do is list out all of your monthly expenses. However, what I utilize with my clients is a spreadsheet to make it, simple and easy. So what we're going to do is check out this um, sample monthly budget that has no information in there. So again, to create your household budget, the first thing that you're going to do is start with your net income from your first job. If you are a two-person household, this could be two jobs and or three jobs. Um, and of course, if you are a four or five-person household, everyone who is working, you should put that income here, and that is your net income, the income that is, that you're getting from your check stubs. So on a typical intake, when you are actually purchasing, you're wanting to go through the process of securing financing to purchase property, we would request that you bring your tax returns, 2 years, your check stubs. We would ask for you to bring your bank statements. The reason why these items are requested is because it's going to let us know a literal glimpse into, or not even a glimpse, everything, like nothing. You cannot hide anything once we're seeing all of that information. And the only reason why I brought that up very quickly is just because the way that, if you don't know what your net income is, which everyone should, the two ways that you can find that would be your check stubs or pay stubs, and then also your primary bank account that you receive that direct deposit in. That's where you're going to find your net income, and you're going to put that net income into your spreadsheet. Now, if you are using a sheet of paper, again, the first thing that should be on your sheet of paper right now is net income, and you write whatever that net income is. Let's try to be a little realistic to um, the state of South Carolina, and average of what you really need in a household, not just as a one individual. So I'm going to give this example of 3,000, depending on where you live. So first you have that. Then you're gonna, after you have, because right now we're creating our household budget and we're writing out all of our monthly expenses. If you have an auto loan, you would go ahead and write that out as well, all of your liabilities. So not only does that necessarily need to be an auto loan, it can also be your student loans if you have that. So we can just write that in: student loans. It could be a personal loan. All debts that you have, you would put that information. You would write that information out next. You would write that information out next. And again, I cannot see what you're doing right now. These are the cons of a virtual workshop. So again, I'm going to keep stressing that you take notes, and if you want to, which you should by the end of this, but if you want to have the one-on-one time, then we can schedule that out so that when you start your March, when March 1 comes, you will have a workable budget that you're actually trying to meet your benchmarks. The next thing that you need to be writing down is your utilities and housing expenses. So if you don't have a mortgage, if you do have one, it would go under your debts. But if you're renting, you would go ahead and put your rent. Absolutely. Definitely use the chat to ask questions. This task that we're accomplishing right now to create a household budget, you're writing out all of your expenses on a sheet of paper. You can be doing that right now as I'm talking, or you can just continue to look at the screen. as I give this quick example of the first thing that you need to be doing to create a household budget. Because again, just because you know your monthly expenses off the top of your head, if you do, that doesn't mean that you're living on a budget. That's very important. Again, just because you know your household expenses off the top of your head and you have them listed out, that does not mean that you're living on a budget. So you have your utilities, you have on your expense, you should have your phone bill. On your expense, you should have any memberships that you have. On your expense list that you're creating right now, you should have the money that you're spending in your mind right now, at least, ideally for your groceries, um, for your meals, which is out to eat, and for your drinks, because this is a food and beverage category. Then you're also going to want to calculate or write out the expenses for your car. So that is the gas, any parking if you're in the city and you have to pay for parking, um, and your car insurance. All things that relate to transportation, you're going those expenses. You're going to write them out. The next category is your clothing and an appearance. You're going to write out what you think you spend, and I would say an expense that everyone pretty much has monthly is hair. Like no matter if you're male or female, you will usually have that expense monthly. So definitely write that. So your medical, if your company does not automatically draft out your medical insurance from your check, which is again why you want to have um, your check stub to see how much deductions you're getting from your check. You're going to want to write that in right here. You also will take this section and put in your life insurance as well. Yes, Shakira, you can get it. It's just going to be difficult for me. Actually, I believe I sent it to you before, but right now it would be difficult for me to try to send this while doing the meeting. So for now, just utilize a sheet of paper. Again, for education, we have, uh, if you're currently in school, at least you're going to have your tuition, your school supplies. However, if you're already finished school, then your monthly payment from your loan is going to go back at the top for the debt. All right. So, lastly, we have in the other category, other miscellaneous items, but we also have the church tithe. Um, any other personal items. Again, the exercise that you're accomplishing right now is writing out all of your monthly expenses. This Excel spreadsheet is what I can send you, and I can walk you through one on one to make sure that it is in alignment, more personalized with your situation, so that some of these categories don't necessarily need to be what they might be on here, but they can be geared more towards what you need. Um, but this is the start to how to create a household budget. And right here, we're going to go to any questions, comments, or concerns based on the information that's been provided thus far.
How frequently should we be looking at our budget? Like, how do you monitor your budget? Is it like on a monthly basis or like bi-weekly when you get paid, or how often do you monitor your budget?
So my practice, um, believe it or not, I do it every single day. So what my routine looks like, first and foremost, I utilize, since I am an Apple user, I utilize an app called Numbers. And the spreadsheet that you just saw, there is a variation of that in the Numbers app. And if not every day, because I got to be honest, I didn't do it today, it's every other day. Pretty much my routine is I go into my primary bank account, and the one reason why I don't do it every day is because sometimes I don't spend any money, believe it or not. Um, but that is also because I am on a very tight budget right now.
I was about to say, I can't tell you the last day that I didn't swipe my card at least one time. That
Yeah,
I
right.
feel like that should make
That's
that a
crazy.
goal of mine.
No, dude, no, absolutely, absolutely. It's doable. But nevertheless, what I do, I open my Numbers app and I open my primary bank account, and I look at all spending that I've done, let's say since Saturday, since we're on Monday, and I put that into this month, February's budget. So let's say, for example, my monthly budget for food and beverage is $500. What I'm going to be doing is when I go to Food Lion on that Sunday, yesterday, and I spend $125, I'm going to go into my bank account, make sure that it actually drafted out of my account. Then I'm going to go to my Numbers app and I'm going to put in February. Yesterday was the 4th. I'm going to put the date, Food Lion, and then $125. And then it's going to show that I have 500 minus 125, which is like 375. And I do that. That's what I do every other day. That's how I keep track. There's no, it wouldn't be good practice if you're living on a household budget okay, well, to begin, if you want to live on a household budget, to begin, you could do this every Sunday. But the only reason why I would say to not do it every Sunday is because 7 days is a long time. And if you told yourself that you're only going to budget $500 in your food and beverage, like that's including out to eat, and you go out with your friends on Thursday and then you go out with your friends again on Saturday, when you fill in that information, you're going to realize, oh wow, I don't have, like, even though you do have more money to spend, you don't have any more money in your budget technically to spend. Like, you're going to find a way to keep spending money, even if you have to utilize debt. But if you want to live on a budget, which is the fourth wealth building principle, then you probably want to look at it every other day or at least every 3 days so that you can tell yourself, oh man, like if I do go out with my friends, I might only need to spend $20. And then you're gonna have to just tell them, hey, the reason why I'm not balling is because I'm trying to live on a budget. I'm trying to be able to save, or I'm trying to be able to whatever your other goal is. So that's a really good question. That is my practice. I've learned that practice by way of moving back home after college and seeing my mom do that every single morning, um, which is why she's the budget guru and or master. I always feel like a superhero if I can make it a day without swiping my card. Likewise, Trey. Likewise.